What's good, internet? Welcome to my channel. In this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to achieve an eye-catchy spot poster with Photoshop. And if you need the exercise file for this tutorial, simply make use of the description section of this video. Without any further ado, let's start. So I'm going to create a new document now by going to File, and I'm going to select New. I'm going to be using the Instagram portrait frame here. So I'm going to call this project SP, which is spot poster. My width is going to be 10 and my resolution is going to be 72. And I'm going to leave every other setting as is. And I'm going to click on the create button here. So I'm going to go to the exercise file now, and I'm going to drag and drop my stadium image. So I'll drag that and drop here, and I'm going to make this big like that, and this should be somewhere here like that. So I'll make a copy of this by dragging and dropping here, and I'm going to activate the free transform, right click and say flip horizontal. All right, then I'm going to hit the enter key. Then I'm going to add a layer mask to the layer. Then I'll select the brush tool. I want to fade this side of the image, so I'm going to make sure my foreground is set to black here, and I'll go to my brush setting here and select the soft round brush. Now, if you can't find your brush settings, simply hit F5 on your keyboard, or you can go to Windows and activate it here. All right, so I'm going to make my brush size this big, and my pen pressure is going to be active. And if you don't have a graphics tablet, okay, you don't need to turn this on. Simply turn down your flow to 11 and you're still going to achieve the same move. All right, so I'm going to make my brush size this big, and I'm going to fade this in. So the next thing is to create a new layer, because we need to fill our sky here. So I'm going to click on the new layer icon and call this sky. Then I'm going to hold on Alt and sample a color from here, and I'm going to fill the upper part of my frame with the color that I just sampled. Now hue saturation and desaturate the project a bit. Why? Because all right, the focus is not the background, which is the stadium. So I'm just going to turn that down a bit like that. That is beautiful. So the next thing I'm going to do is to make the sky more darker by activating curve, and I'm going to move this down. Then I'm going to select my brush tool again, make sure my foreground here is set to black, and I'm going to take the curve away from this side of the project. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is to create distance here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm trying to create distance between my subject and my background. So I'm going to make the stadium image a bit faded like that, and let's make it a bit darker. Yeah, good. So then I'm going to hit Ctrl-I to reverse the mask, select the brush tool, and make sure your foreground is set to white like mine. So I'm going to just bring back the levels, be more glowy. So I'll go under the shadow channel here, and I'm going to make this have that. I'm going to make the shadow have that, bluish, purplish color like that. All right. Yeah, this is better. So I'll go to highlights now, and I'm going to add yellow to this. Just going to move this here. So the idea behind the yellow is to give the light that orange color, right? So I'm going to move this here and move this here. Right. So this is better. Add fog to this. So I'm going to call this layer fog. Then I'm going to select the brush tool. Make sure your foreground here is set to white. And I'm going to softly apply the brush like that. All right. So I'm going to add a layer mask to this and go to filter, go to render and say cloud. I'm going to put everything here in a group. So I'll just select the layers and hit Control G and call this stadium. All right, good. So for the bottom part of the stadium here, I feel like making it a bit darker. So I'm going to select the brush tool and just apply the brush here like that. So I'm going to drag the image of the first character in, which is the image of Gaia. So I'm going to hold on Alt and make this bigger and position this here for now. And I'm going to drag the image of Yamal in like that and make that also bigger and position this here. I'm going to add curve to above the layer of Gaia there. I'm going to select the clip icon because I only want this to affect Gaia's layer. All right. Then I'm going to move this down and I'm going to hit Control I to reverse the mask. And I'm going to select the brush tool. I'm going to dial down my brush size like that and bring back the shadow here. Right? Like that. I'm going to activate hue saturation, select the clip icon, and I'm also going to desaturate the image a bit. All right? Like that. Then I'm going to add levels to this and select the clip icon. So why I'm planning to make the back of the bold character here darker. Why? Because the opposite of white is always black. All right. So we need to make this, a bit darker in order to make the unity in the project balance. All right. So I'm going to move this. All right. So we need to add some rim light here now. So what I'm going to do is to zoom in by holding down Control and space bar. Then I'm going to zoom in like that. So I'm going to be very fast with this. I need to be black here. All right. So I'm going to quickly add that right there. Add a curve adjustment again, and I'm going to click on the clip icon and I'm going to move this down. So I only want this to touch the shadow part of the jersey. So I'm going to double click on the layer to activate my layer style. Yeah, I only want this on the shadow part of the jersey. So I'm going to move this here and I'm going to hold on Alt and split the slider. So this is better. So I'm going to add one more highlight. So I'm going to activate curve again and move this up like that. And I'm going to select the clip icon and I'm going to hit Control I to reverse the mask. And I'm going to make sure my foreground here is set to white. And I'm going to gently bring back the highlights like that. So for this side here, because of this light we have here, we need to make this side more glowy. And for this side, I'm not sure we need more glow effect there. Put everything here in a group. So I'm going to shift select the layers like that and hit Control G and call this Gaia like that. So let's make the same move to your mouse layer. So I'm going to apply curve like that and select the clip icon and move this down like so. And I'm going to hit Control I to reverse the mask. Actually, we don't need too much shadow on your mouse layer. So I'm going to make sure my foreground here is set to white. And I'm just going to bring back the shadow. Then I'm going to desaturate the image by activating hue saturation and select the clip icon. And I'm going to desaturate this a bit. I'm going to activate levels. Yeah, so I'm going to select the clip icon. This. So, and we're going to make the same move again. Select the brush tool and make sure your foreground here is set to black. We turn down my brush size like that and I'm going to bring back the Right, so I'm going to add curve again by clicking on the curve adjustment, and I'm going to select the clip icon and make this go up like that, and hit Control I to reverse the mask. And I'm going to zoom in and still bring back. Sorry, I need to be on white here, so I'm just going to bring back the curve. So I'm going to put Yamal also in another group. So I shift selected the layers and hit Control G, and I'm going to call this Yamal. So we need to crop out the name on their jersey and numbers. So I'm going to open the folder and hide everything here. Okay. I'm going to select the magic wand tool. Start with Gaia's image. I'm going to select the name and the figures. So I need to zoom in, hold on shift, and select it right there. Don't forget to hold on shift when doing this. So what I'll do now is to select the lasso tool. I'm going to hold on shift. Right. So I'm going to hit Control J to cut that selected area out. And I'm going to hold on Alt and place my mouse in between the cutout layer and the layer of Gaia. And I'm going to clip this back into the image, because if we don't do that, we're going to mess up the projects. All right. All these adjustment layers there are going to be unclipped. So I decided to clip them by making that move there. So we're going to move this out and drop here. So then we're going to select your mouse layer. All right. And make the same move again. So I'm going to select the magic wand too. So if you're having fun watching this tutorial, can I see you drop a message in the comment section if you're looking at me making more tutorials like this? Your comment is very important to me. And if you love the video, kindly give it a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed, all right, you can hit the subscribe button now, because I'm going to be posting more tutorials like this for you guys to watch. So do your best to subscribe now. I have so many tutorials on how to achieve successful design on my YouTube channel. So if you want to learn how to achieve good design, or you want to learn how to design, you can make use of those tutorials. I've been getting positive response from people who have been watching my tutorial, and it has really blessed them a lot. So you also can be part of those people. Help yourself today by watching those tutorials. Okay. All right. I think that is it. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to hit Control J, and I'm going to hold on Alt and clip this and move this up here. This here. So I'm going to close this. Put the two layers in a group. All right. Then so for the mouse number, we need to convert that to black and white. There's something I'm supposed to do here. Make everything here active. Good. So I'm going to start with this normal. Let's just call this 10. And I'm going to activate the black and white adjustment. And I'm going to say, I only want this to affect the number on the jersey. So let's add depth to the number. So what I'll do is I'm going to play with the yellow. So I'm going to move the yellow down. And let's see for the red. Yeah, I'm also going to push the red down. The reason why I'm adjusting the yellow channel here is because we have yellow on the lettering. All right. Then I'm going to activate solid color adjustment. And the color code I'm going to use here is going to be DD9A 0B. And I'm going to select the OK button. So I only want this to affect the lettering, layer. So I'm going to hold on Alt and clip this to just only the group folder there and change my blend mode here to linear dodge. So I'm going to go straight to the folder and I'm going to add curve to this and boost this. There's one other thing I want to do here. I'm going to add a layer and I'll call this, let's move this here. So I'll call this black so that the brush tool, and make sure my brush setting is set to soft round brush. And let's see if I add my brush back here. Yeah. Do the same move here. For this curve here, I really want to give this that gold color look. So I'm going to activate color balance here and I'm going to select the clip icon and I'm going to adjust my mid-tone channel here, red and cyan 24, 29, 11. Yes, this is better. Yeah, I like this. So I want to add more depth to the shadow on the numbers. So what I'll do is I'm going to activate curve and push this down. So I only want this to affect this. So I'm going to move this down like that. And I'm going to blend it this by double clicking on the layer to activate layer style. I want to take this away from the highlights. I'm going to hold on Alt and split the slider. Yes. And let's see if I make this luminosity. Yeah, this is better. So I'm going to select the OK button, more black to this side here because we're beginning to have too many highlights here and this is not okay. So I'm going to add another curve, but this is going to now be the highlights. So I'm going to move this up and double click on the layer to activate layer style. And this time I only want this to be on the highlight and not on the shadow. So I'm going to move this to this side and hold on Alt and split the slider. That. So then I'm going to put this in a group. So I'll shift select the layer and hit Ctrl G and call this numbers. Good. Then I'm going to create a solid layer. We're about to achieve unity here. So I'm going to double click on this and right like that. So I'm going to hit Ctrl I to reverse the mask and I'll go to layers layer here, hold down Ctrl and click on the thumbnail of the layer to create a marquee selection of that character there. And I'm going to hit Ctrl H to hide the marquee and I'm going to zoom in like that. So I want it to look like the light coming from back of Yamal here is what call out the light that we have on our subject here. So I'm going to make this visible now and I'm going to select the brush tool and make sure my foreground here is set to white and I'm going to softly bring back the solid layer on my character here. So I'm going to switch to black and just take this out from here, switch to white again and there this yeah. So if you're looking at me making more tutorials like this for you, simply drop let's have more spot poster tutorial in the comment section. Okay, let's apply the same move to your mouse image. So I'm going to go to the folder where we have your mouse picture. So I'm going to hold on Control and click on the thumbnail of your mouse image and I'll select the color fill layer here and hit Control H to hide the marquee and I'm going to zoom in. Then I'm going to make the same move again. So I'm going to switch to white here, and I'm going to add some glow effect to the lettering. So I'm going to create a new layer and call this layer glow. Then I'm going to select the brush tool, go to the brush settings here, make sure I'm on the soft round brush, and I'm going to make this big, and I'm going to hold down Alt and sample a color from here. Supposed to hit Control H first and hit Control D to take away the marquee. Actually, you don't need to hit Control H before hitting Control D, but I decided to do that for you guys to know that there's a selection going on there that is stopping our brush from applying to where we want it. Okay, so I'm going to apply this here now. Let me change this to screen. Yeah, this is good. We are going to go straight to the exercise file and bring in our dust image. So I'm going to drag that and drop here, that, and make this really small. All right, it should be very small. So I'm going to rotate it this way and hit the enter key and change my blend mode to screen. All right, so this should come here, make a copy of this, push this here. Put this in a group because our layer panel is looking too messed up. So I'm going to hit Control G and call this dust. I'm going to hold on Alt and click on the new layer icon and call this light effect. Change my blend mode here to color dodge and check the fill with neutral color option there and hit the OK button. We already have the color here, but I'm going to start with white. So I'm going to switch to white here, select the brush tool and add more white to this side of the figure. All right, to really make the glow there very strong. Let's add the logos. Okay, so I'm going to drag the logos and drop now. So I'm going to start with the Barcelona logo. So I'm going to drag that and drop here. All right, and I'm going to create a layer, move this down and fill this layer with white. So I'm going to apply the color of my foreground here by hitting Alt and backspace. So the reason why I'm making this move here is because I want only the black outline from the logo. So I'll go to my channels tab here, hold down Control and click on the thumbnail of the blue channel and go back to the layer tab here and hold down Control, Shift and I to reverse the selection. I'm going to create a new layer now and hold down Control and backspace to fill that layer with the color of our background here. So I'm going to hit Control D to take away the marquee selection and I'm going to drag this and drop here. So I'll convert this to a smart object, activate the free transform and make this. So I'll go back to the logo again and drag and drop the Valencia logo there. I'm going to click on the new layer icon here and call this noise. I'll make sure my foreground and background here is black and white. So I'll click on this icon to do that. I'll fill the layer with the black color by holding down Alt and backspace. So I'll go to filter, noise and say add noise. Then I'll make my noise 105.82 like that. Make sure uniform is checked and monochromatic is also checked. So I'm going to select the OK button. Then I'm going to hold down Control and Shift and click on the thumbnail of the two logos. I'm going to hide the logos now and I'm going to select the layer mask icon there and change my blend mode here to screen. So one other thing we need to do here is I'm going to hit Control U to activate hue saturation. and we are going to check colorize because we want the same color on the number on the logo. So I'm going to move my, now we need to first crank our saturation up. So we're creating a dust logo there. All right, so I'm going to select the OK button like that. Then one other thing we need to do is I'm going to hold down Control and Shift to select the thumbnail of the two logos there and create a new layer. Then I'm going to go to my foreground color here and sample this color from here and hit the OK button. I'm going to hold down Alt and Backspace to fill that layer with the color that we sample from the number there. And I'm going to go to Filter, Blur, and say Gaussian Blur. All right, so our Gaussian blur should be sound, and I'm going to select the OK button and change my blend mode here to screen. So what I'm going to do is to select the brush tool. So we need to be on the hard brush. So yeah, we're going to move this back. It's too much, right? Yeah, and the spacing is going to be smaller. And right. You know what we're going to do? Let's create a new layer. Good. And I'm going to use my mouse here to create points. Add space like that and draw a path, right? Like so. Okay. And you can now select the direct selection to the right click and select stroke path. And make sure your option here is set to brush and make sure this is turned off and click the OK button. So when you do that, Photoshop will automatically apply the brush setting to that part for you. So you can even move this around and make the same here. Right? You can right click and say stroke part. Say OK button. Now you see we have that effect there, and you can do go to this layer here. All right, this light effect layer here, brush to here, turn off scattering, go to shape dynamic. All right, turn that off also, and make sure you're on the hard brush. And I'm gonna make the, I'm going to draw a part. All right, so I'll draw a part here. Connect this to this. Make sure you're on this layer when you're doing this, and make sure that your color here is set to this color here like that. And I'm going to right click and say stroke part. Now make sure simulate pressure is turned on, and I'm going to select the OK button. Now if I hit the enter key, we should have this effect here, and we can even go a bit further by doing this. Still on this layer here, don't forget. So we're gonna just take this out like that. Take this out here. Just fine tune this. That. I mean, I'm gonna put the date and time, which is 14th. Set. Yep. So, all right. So let's do one more thing before we go. I'm going to add a color balance because I want the color on the shadow part to be something brown like. So I'm going to move this in and move this in. That's okay. And the highlight is just going to be yellow. All right, so I actually want the gold on their jersey to be more glowy. All right, and like that. So I'm going to, I think the shadow effect is too strong. So I'm going to move this back up there. Good. So the next thing is to stamp visible the project by holding Ctrl, Shift, Alt, and E. All right, so I want to add depth to the pixels by clicking on filter here and go to sharpen and say on sharp mask. And I'm going to make my amount 100 and select the OK button. And yeah, so this is where I'm going to stop. I'm glad you made it to the end of this tutorial. If you have not subscribed, remember to hit the subscribe button and remember to click the post notification bell so you get notified when I post my tutorials. Now, guys, let's do something together here. If you wish to see more tutorials like this from me, kindly drop a "we want more movie poster" message in the comment section of this video. All right. So if you're able to achieve this project, kindly post it on your Instagram account and remember to tag me. My Instagram handle is at Caesar Graphics. If you know anyone who is fighting with knowing how to use Photoshop, kindly share this video with them so they can learn how to use Photoshop. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.